showcase right here at PAX East. I got Patrick here with me. How you doing, Patrick?
I'm doing well. This is a good PAX so far. So
yeah, it's nice, man. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like it doesn't feel as crazy, but I'm sort of seeing more people just around and stopping. It feels like it's a bit of a slower. Like everyone's a little bit more relaxed than they were necessarily yesterday, which was just insanity constantly.
Oh yeah, it's crazy coming down the escalators and just seeing just a solid wall of people as far as the eye can see.
Oh yeah,
the entire hangar.
It's when they first come in as well, but you're sort of like in the mornings, it's just like this pile of people. But we're going to be looking at Gurgamoth here.
Gurgamoth is a 2 to 4 player local multiplayer game.
Nice.
It's a flying fighting game, but the level is your weapon. That's the hook. And you're playing a death cultist who's hellbent on summoning Gurgamoth, this elder god.
Okay.
So every time you knock an enemy into a wall, you make them a little bit stronger. And if you're the last man standing, you're the one who summons it.
Nice, man. You may need to move your mic a little closer to the mouth there.
All right. Am I good? Cool.
That sounds good.
Awesome.
Yeah. You're a soft-spoken gentleman, you know. I'm not going to make you shout or anything like that. That'd be too full on. Yeah, just move the mic in. Well, good. So yeah, let's take a look at the game, man.
All right. So what I've just added this week is bots, and it's on sale on Steam right now. And for PAX East weekend, it's 50% off. So it's only $5.
You're watching this right now, $5.
Right.
You don't even need to see it. That's a value proposition right there.
Exactly. It's like less than the cost of a burrito, a little bit more than the cost of a latte, but it's somewhere in between there in terms of enjoyability. So
yeah, you get more out of that than you get out of a latte. Burritos are nice, don't get me wrong, but again, that's gone.
Yeah, if you have to choose the burrito, but like, definitely.
Or choose the game.
So I'll show you the first level first.
Awesome,
this is Arctic, and as you play Arctic, you reveal dangerous spikes. Like, it starts out pretty safe, but every time you knock an opponent into a wall, it breaks the ice and makes the level that much more dangerous.
Oh, nice. Okay. Cool. So yeah, like you say, every time you hit in the ice, spikes are appearing. Now you hit the walls, you die.
Right. And every time someone dies, they leave a nice little blood stain right where they hit the wall.
Yeah, you know, just so you know, specifically, it was orange that got killed by spikes there. And this is like, local multiplayer.
It is. We talked a lot about doing online multiplayer, but it just, because of the speed of the game, it didn't make sense. Like, any kind of latency would make the game unplayable.
100%. And also, I mean, this feels like the kind of game that really is going to shine in local multiplayer with the arguments and shouting and all that good stuff that's going to come from being knocked into spikes or something like that.
The shoulder punching and the jostling, it's a great game for that. So the little circles that keep popping up, those are power-ups, and each one does something different. The red one is a shield. There's also a couple that will make the level more dangerous, like a spiky ball of death. We call it Cletus.
Nice.
And a laser ball that will create a laser on the other side of the direction you hit it. So it's a very fast-paced game. Like, we wanted something that was very unforgiving, but still perfect for like a party setting. So like, it keeps the game going. Like, there's a lot of just brutal deaths, a lot of just really fast kills, and at the end game, the final point, the camera slows down so you have a chance to kind of save against it, but also just to really emphasize that final death.
So you've got lots of different stages and things like that. Right?
Yeah, that's where we focused most of our design, was on the stages, because each one we wanted to add something new and interesting, like a different way to kill your opponents.
Nice.
This is my favorite power-up because you get so much precision.
Yeah. And the art design on this is really nice. So you particularly notice it just then, like, on the characters, just when everything's slowed down, you can kind of see them moving and stuff.
So we have a fantastic illustrator and animator. Both of them do amazing work.
How many of you are there that work on this game?
There's 4 of us, and we built it in a very short time period. It was kind of like a chance for us to stretch our limbs. We'd just gone indie.
Yeah.
We wanted to start with something a little bit smaller, figure out like what we didn't know about making a game, and make sure that like we could make something fun and get it out there. So I'm excited for what comes next, but this was a really good thing to launch first.
So you guys are working on new games and stuff now?
Yeah, we learned a lot from this, and the biggest thing we learned was like start with online multiplayer. Like from both of our first games, like we were also working on a title called the Rust Belt. From both of them, like we showed them to people, and they said, "Oh, can I play this with my friends online?" And it's like, not yet. So now it's like,
so that was the lesson taken forward. Like, oh, we need to kind of begin
start
from the very beginning. It's like, cool, we're going to put that in here.
Yeah.
This game, honestly, though, like you say, it wouldn't be the same experience online.
No, we'd have to slow it down. We'd have to make a lot of concessions. But
so what was your role in the game then?
I was one of the game designers, and I'm also one of the developers.
Nice.
I run the harder parts of the business, like the things that's not fun about running an indie studio. So I wear a lot of hats.
I think in a team of 4, that's going to happen.
You have to,
yeah. What was the development process like? Because you said it was kind of a quick.
Yeah, so actually,
I imagine. Like you say quick. It probably was like, we did it in like a day and it was done.
So the idea came from another game that had a bug in it, and the bug was like it was a platforming game. The bug was that you could dash infinitely, and so it became all of a sudden, instead of a platforming game, a flying game.
Yeah.
And we saw that, and we saw how people reacted to that bug. They were really excited, about
oh, cool.
Yeah,
the freedom of movement kind of thing.
And so we had this opportunity around Halloween to do a game jam in downtown Seattle, hosted by PlayFab. Nice. It was a 48-hour game jam, and we had this idea spinning in our head for 2 weeks about like, how could we take this simple idea of knocking someone out of an arena and make an entire game around it? Like, can we explore its depths? Can we figure out like how to make it a game that you can come back to again and again?
Yeah.
And so over the weekend we prototyped this level, High Temple, and that formed sort of the basis. Like in 48 hours we had this entire game loop, we had this level done, and we had like something really polished and something really exciting on our hands. And that was what made us decide to keep going.
Yeah. And how long was it from, like, you'd done the 48 hours and you got this kind of nailed? How long was it then on, like, sort of adding more to it, fleshing out?
So after we did the 48 hours, we asked ourselves, like, could we get this out on a smaller platform, like not Steam, but on a smaller storefront in 2 weeks, like just something really simple, and sell it for like $2 or $3. And so about 2 weeks later, we polished up this level. We finished out like just a really small version of it, and we started selling it for $3, just to see like, would people buy it? Is this something people enjoy? And we got enough of a good reception there to say, okay, let's continue adding to it. Let's get it on Steam, and let's add a ton more content. And so it ended up taking another 2.5 months after that point to get it onto Steam. So we went through the green light process. We continued like putting it in front of people. We took it to PAX South, and I think we showed with you at PAX South. And that was a month before we launched, or like roughly a month before we launched. So at that point, we had most of our content in the game, and it was just about polishing it out, finishing it out.
Yeah, I'm about to say, it is a very fun game, and it's like the variety, I think, of the different levels is kind of what makes it there. Like in that last one, you saw the screen was just getting smaller and smaller and smaller.
One of the like pillars of the game is that every time, or as you go through a match, the level intensifies. So each level, we tried to focus on how does that level intensify. The ice level is pretty straightforward. As you break the blocks, it gets more intense. There's a couple levels where the walls shrink in. One of my favorite levels is Tomb of Legion. And this is heavily inspired by Lethal League. While we were building this, we were playing a lot of our favorite local multiplayer games, and one of them was Lethal League. And the Lethal League has that natural intensify. As you play the match, the ball goes faster and faster. And so this works in a very similar way. Like as you hit the balls, they speed up, and they get more dangerous.
So it's kind of the constant risk reward of like you want to use the ball, but the more you hit it, the more difficult it's going to make it just for everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome. Like, is there a case of just like not touching the thing at all? Like, have you ever seen people just do that?
Oh
like,
yeah.
Just don't touch it?
So especially new players, they get a little bit frightened of it. So instead, they try to just knock people into it while it's in the center still.
Yeah.
So like it just becomes, which I mean, it's a viable way to play, and it's the only level that does have like the hazard directly in the center.
Yeah. It's a viable way of playing, and I say it's just not as much fun.
No, it's not.
Nice. That slowdown just looks so cool.
There's a shader effect that's distorting the screen, adding a little bit of waviness to it.
Yeah. Man, I can see this being a really fun game, like at a party. Like you got people over. And it's got that whole thing where it's just like one round finishes, you're into the next one, like straight away. Which really, like, I mean, I think Super Meat Boy was the first one I remember playing that was like that, where it was just like you'd be there for like an hour.
Yeah, Hotline Miami, Super Meat Boy, like this, like just right
same
in.
Thing, just straight back in.
One of the best pieces of feedback we got, like right after we launched, was it wasn't quite fast enough to start the match over again, and so that's one of the last things I fixed. Was I dropped the 3, 2, 1 countdown just to make sure that like you got right back in the action as soon as possible. And I think we could go further. I think we could cut even more time off the start of it, just right back into the action.
Yeah.
What I'd love to add is like and this was a requested mode, is like instead of round based, like you keep spawning back in, kind of like Samurai Gun, like you just get right back into the action.
That'd be
so
awesome.
that's definitely something.
Great game as well. Yeah.
It's definitely something we're considering as well.
Yeah, man. That would work quite nicely, I think, with this.
The big thing is we want to get more players so we can figure out what they want and like see if we can add it for them. And I mean, obviously, what a lot of players are asking for that we can't really do is online multiplayer. But like,
like you say, it's kind of that's not the game. Like, if you're looking for that, that's not what this is.
But there's so many other opportunities, and we'd love to have people say like, oh, it'd be awesome if you get a level where we can do this. And
okay,
that's a good idea. And we've had some really good feedback from our players so far. So
that's cool. So you've got like a little community of people that are coming together and letting you know stuff that they might like.
Yeah, no, it's really great. Like that's my favorite thing about having a game out there, is that you like the hardest thing about developing a game is like getting that feedback and incorporating it and building it out into the game. So like having a game out there means that you have a community that's like vocal, and they talk about what they want, what they like what they would love to have in there.
So what was one of the biggest challenges making this game? They said it was made in quite a quick cycle. Were there any particular things that were like roadblocks or tough whilst making this game?
So in halfway through, we were having this problem where players were putting down the controller after a round or two, and it was this really hard question of like, why are they doing that? Because like they'd say, oh, this is really fun, but then they'd set the controller down. And, like the actions of a player, like when you're doing playtesting, speak a lot louder than words. So we struggled for a while figuring like what is it that's causing people to do that. And actually, the game had gravity at that time, like because we really wanted to make it about flying. Like, and so like gravity seemed like a natural like thing to do. Like as you go down, you swoop, and if you let go of the controller, you naturally drift down. But it was stressing players out, and they wouldn't have been able to identify it, but it was stressing players out because they always had to have their finger on the L stick, which made it like a lot more challenging to control. And so just by taking out gravity, like all of a sudden players like started playing longer. We stopped having like the dropouts just immediately. So like those kind of little things, you don't expect them, but they
I suppose that speaks huge volumes to just people getting your game, like particularly if you're a smaller developer, getting your game in people's hands. Is things like PAX and stuff good for that?
Oh yeah. Like we just released bots, and we didn't get as much playtesting on bots as our previous feature. So like seeing people play bots, it's starting to give me like a bunch more ideas of how we could adjust them, how we could tweak them to be even better. So I love PAX for that reason. Like it's 3 days of 500 to 700 playtests, like depending how many machines you have up and depending on how long the waits are.
Okay, at this stage is that's awesome. Nice, man. It's been really nice to have you on the stage. It's really nice to hear that the game's doing well. Like I said, the last time we saw you, it hadn't come out yet. It was like a month out from release. And now, like you're saying, at the moment, it's 50% off.
It is. It is.
And that's just for like...
Just for PAX, yeah.
So, at the end of today...
Actually, at the end of Wednesday. So
Wednesday,
yeah,
okay,
so you got a little bit of time. Yeah, it's like
yeah.
you recover from PAX East, like you go
you
home,
got
like,
home,
and then yeah.
and then you buy the game.
You're like, oh wait, there was that game where I got to smash people with
Gurgamoth,
spikes.
that one, that was really good. Yeah. You guys need to check this game out if you're looking for a good couch multiplayer game. This is a lot of fun. We played it a few times here at my stadium. It's really fun. So yeah, thank you so much for joining us, man.
Yeah,
Where can
thank
people
you.
find out more information about what you guys are up to? You said you're working on new things and stuff like that.
Yeah, you can follow us at Galvanic Games on Twitter. GalvanicGames.com is our website,
Awesome.
and you can find more about Gurgamoth at Gurgamoth.com.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
Thank you again.
Well, thank you.
We'll be back very soon with more indie games. We're doing it for the whole day, so we'll see you very soon.